वैराग्य विद्या निज भक्ति योगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुष पुराणम श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य शरीरधारी कृपां बुदीयतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. What is the real purification? The real purification is glorifying Krishna, glorifying Krishna's devotees, glorifying Hare Krishna Mahamantra, glorifying the holy name, glorifying Vrindavan Dham, है ना? Glorifying Vaishnavas, glorifying Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. That is the real purification. Someone who is glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, someone who is glorifying the Dham, Param Dham of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, someone who is glorifying his devotees, someone who is glorifying scriptures, someone who is glorifying the paraphernalia Krishna has. That is the real purification. Purification should lead us to what? A simple heart. Is it not? Purification means simplicity. है ना? Synonymous quite a bit. Simplicity, simple hearted. And who can glorify? Only a simple hearted person can glorify, who is not very much self obsessed, who can see the good in other, who can see that Krishna vision say in other, that he or she is a spark of Krishna. They, them, they are a spark of Krishna, who can see that and who can appreciate that. And in general, who can have that loving relationship with devotees, with Srimad Bhagavatam, with the holy name. And this is what we want to attain, glorifying Krishna. There's no higher joy in this world than speaking about Krishna, speaking Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, speaking Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and speaking about Krishna. Uh, and there's no other higher joy than listening about Krishna, listening Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, listening to the holy name or chanting the holy name. There's no other higher joy in this world because it is completely transcendental, coming from the transcendental platform. Rest in this world, whatever it is within the modes of material nature, which we will study now, which we try to study now. So we continue with our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, text 5 onwards, chapter entitled The Three Modes of Material Nature. And we read the translation and purport last time when we met up, but we'll read again. And the question then asked was, what is conditioning? What do we mean by conditioning? Huh? So keep that question in mind. If you have any thoughts, kindly share. What does conditioning mean? And also in general, if you have any other questions in general, then kindly unmute and ask whenever you want. Don't have to wait for me to stop. Please cut me out. Huh? So share screen, chapter 14, text 5. And Rajshri, if you can read the translation purport, I will just read the shloka. Sattvam rajastamaiti Sattvam rajastamaiti guna prakriti sambhava nibadnanti mahabhavo dehi namavyayam.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Purport. E.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The living entity, because he is transcendental, has nothing to do with this material nature. Still, because he has become conditioned by the material world, he is acting under the spell of the three modes of material nature. Because living entities have different kinds of bodies, in terms of the different aspects of nature, they are induced to act according to that nature. This is the cause of the varieties of happiness and distress. Hare Krishna.
Read translation again.
Translation: Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty armed Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you. So, okay. Mhm. Three modes of material nature. Okay, conditioning. Anyone would like to share if any thoughts on conditioning? Okay, so maybe later as you progress, see if you feel anyone. Yes,
Prabhuji,
Rajshri.
I think because of this undergoing repeated births and deaths, we have somehow, we are somehow attracted towards a certain mindset and a certain lifestyle and an attitude of ignorance. So maybe that can be called material conditioning.
Yes, yes. Again, like it's not like okay, this is the only right answer or this is the thing. We understand to some extent what does conditioning mean. Want to share your thought like what does conditioning mean, huh? But yeah, Rashi, what you said is on those lines only. And if there are any examples which you feel like sharing, then kindly share. I will try to see if any example I can share. Okay. So the chapter entitled The Three Modes of Material Nature. Hmm? Now, very interesting name of the chapter, The Three Modes of Material Nature. Hmm? Generally see, say someone has to go from Glasgow to London or from London to say New Delhi or London to Vrindavan. That's better, right? Say someone plans going from Glasgow to Vrindavan, someone from London to Vrindavan, someone from Dundee to Vrindavan, and someone from California to Vrindavan. Now, what are the ways? And someone plans going from Delhi to Vrindavan, New Delhi to Vrindavan. What are the modes or ways one can go from London to Vrindavan? Teleportation. Okay, teleportation is one of the most subtlest way, the most quickest way, yeah, through one's consciousness. The the most the most teleportation is the most subtlest way, yeah, and the most say the powerful, potent way, the most conscious way, and the most direct way. So thanks for the response. Anyone else? Any thoughts? How can one go from what are the modes? What are the modes by which one can travel from, say, Dundee to Vrindavan, from Glasgow, London, California to Vrindavan, New Delhi to Vrindavan?
Prabhuji, one is to be in association with devotees, so you can find Vrindavan anywhere. And then,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the other
Yeah.
thing is physical modes of transport, maybe flight
Okay.
or a train through Europe and then to India.
Okay. Harsha, what were you saying?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to add, that physically we have to take up some transportation mode to reach.
Yeah. Okay. So the way from, say, London to Vrindavan, Glasgow to Vrindavan is what? From the house, maybe taking a bus or a taxi. Hmm? Could be a bit of a walk to the bus station, then taking a taxi, bus, taxi, tube, train to the airport, from airport taking a flight to New Delhi, from New Delhi taking a taxi, say, to Vrindavan. Someone from New Delhi might go by train, might go by bus, might go by uh, car to Vrindavan, might go by train as well to Vrindavan. So there are various modes of transport. uh, Various modes. One is by foot, by train, by ship, by flight, by aeroplane, by bus, by car, by bike, motorbike. So some ways of modes of transport, right? Now, suppose I want to buy a dress in a shop or online. Or say I want to buy a dress in a shop. What are the modes of payment? General, right? The modes of payment are I can pay by cash, I can pay by check, I can pay by debit card, I can pay by some voucher, gift voucher. Those are the ways, right? So the modes of payment, different modes of payment to get the transaction done, to get the dress by having different modes of payment, modes of travel by different modes of I can travel from one place to another by different modes. Then modes of communication, how to communicate with someone, how to contact someone. Again, telepathic one is one way to communicate with someone, and a mode of communication, a bit rarely used though. And telephone, text message, WhatsApp message, phone call, Skype call, Zoom call, Teams call, right? By sending a card, writing a letter, email, different modes of communication.
Mahamantra also.
Yeah, Mahamantra also a mode of communication. We can communicate directly with Krishna. By the way, those of you do not have Krishna's WhatsApp number or his Facebook account or his Instagram account or his TikTok number or his landline number or his email, he's always reachable at Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's his personal number, just now revealed for to all of us. Is always reachable, accessible there. It's a direct line, and it's never busy. Surprisingly, it's never busy. One will never be put on hold, and there's no one need not have to listen any other music. And the calls are always free. There's no international roaming or anything. Calls are always free any time of the day, month, year, whenever, and one can connect. So modes of connection, yeah, these are the modes of connection, modes of payment, modes of travel, and what modes of, you know, how did you get to know of this job? Job interview, say how do, well, in newspaper I read the article. Well, through word of mouth, a friend told me. From where did you get to know? Well, from internet I got to know. Where did you get to know? One of your staff told me. I'm good friends with your staff. He told me. So these are the modes by which I can get to know of job and apply for a job, get into a job interview. So, so we actually the whole material nature we are functioning under the modes or in different modes only we are living. Uh, Modes, buying a house, selling a house, again different modes. How do we connect and all? So now living in this practical, physical, behavioral world, the modes of material nature. So we understand the various modes of transport, right? The optimum way of travel from one place to another, the cost effective way, time effective way, energy effective way. All this we understand and we try. Does it fit in my budget? Does it fit in my schedule? In terms of buying a dress, in terms of travel, in terms of job interviews, and things around like that. Likewise, the mode of living, the mode of well-being, the mode of existence, the mode of what is the state of my mood. Hmm? So that modes of material nature we'll try to understand a bit more. Any thoughts, any question, comment, or any other someone wants to add anything? on the modes of material nature or on conditioning? What does conditioning mean? If I've missed out any modes, if you like to share some modes. Mode
I
of
don't know.
communication?
Sorry
Mhm.
to interrupt you, Prabhuji. So
No,
in
no.
conditioning, so when I studied
Mhm.
medicine, they used to teach us, and I think it's relevant. So there is this experiment of the dog and bell for to explain conditioning by Ivan Pavlov. So they say that a dog was trained to know that he would get food when a bell is rung. So
Mhm.
he was unaware of this, but eventually when he realizes that whenever the bell rings he is going to get food, he gets conditioned to the fact that whenever the bell rings, the next thing that should
Yes.
happen is food in front of him.
Yes.
So that kind of preconceived notions and mindsets because of events that have happened with you, that is also conditioning.
Yeah. Yeah. That is conditioning. That is conditioning. This is how actually animals are trained. This is how many experiments are done, na? Dog or rat, how to trap a rat, how to catch a rat and all. So this some message is given to the brain, and then that message is forced to the brain that with this event, this is what going to happen. This is event, this is what going to happen. So this is how they are trained. And animals, they live with very instinctive nature, right? What instinctive nature? Where is food? Where is shelter? Where is how do I protect myself? And where is this mate? How in terms of procreation and all. So animals live with this instinct only. And how this is how kind of they are trained or used for some experiment, that conditioning is brought about. And we are more conditioned than animals. Honestly, we are heavily conditioned than animals. And रही सही कसर बताऊं कौन पूरी कर रहा है? Whatever is left, the conditioning, who is fulfilling? Okay, this is a question. We all agree we are heavily conditioned, right? Now, whatever is remaining, whatever is left, whatever conditioning is left in me, who is fulfilling that conditioning? Any thoughts?
We and the people around us.
We and the people around us predominantly, sure. जो कुछ बाकी रह गया ना, whatever is left is being nicely fulfilled, covered by say BBC, social media, है ना? Netflix, Facebook, this YouTube, other things and all. Propaganda. Propaganda. Again, I'm not ever trying to have a stab at BBC or someone. These all are very high personalities and surely contributing to the society in their best way, in their understanding perhaps. But propaganda, na? Whatever is there, then advertisement, media, peer pressure, fear of losing out, fear of missing out, uh, what some other things they say, right? So that environment, TikTok and influencers, the rest all is being very nicely covered up, the conditioning covered up from there. Say, yeah. So the three modes of material nature, na? What are the three modes of transport? Name the three mode. There could be questions written like this, right? What are the three most common modes of transport? What are the three modes of communication? What are the three most common modes of payment? What are the three most common modes of making an enquiry, uh, making a contact? What are the three most common modes of coming into Krishna consciousness, perhaps? Hmm. So, likewise, what are the three modes of material nature? Which we see this translation itself: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And the translation again: when the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, O mighty Amda Arjuna, he becomes conditioned by these modes. Hmm. So, we could be something to begin with, but when coming with in contact with the modes of material nature, we become a different personality altogether. To begin with, I was something, but then when I come in contact with the modes of material nature, I become a different personality altogether. Prabhupada gives this fantastic example. Perhaps Rajashri, you might also you would be knowing this, and you may share a bit more. Uh, uh, like Prabhupada says this, right? That uh, raindrop drops from the sky, high up in the sky, and when the drop of water, when it first drops, say in the sky and high up, it is very clean. It is very clean. It is very pure. Mm. The property is very pure and clean, very good. But as it comes in contact, closer and closer contact with earth, as it comes down a bit, it gets perverted. uh, And then where it lands, where it drops, if it drops in muddy water, the property changes. If it drops in still water, clean, clear water, the property changes though. If it drops in some other place, the property changes. But originally, the drop of water is very clean, very pure. Likewise, we are originally Krishna conscious, pure consciousness, like child. Even nowadays, although children are also a bit, um, perhaps naughty, if that is the word, say, children are also a bit too smart, perhaps, if that is the word. Uh, but generally speaking, children, no, child, baby when he's born, a child does not know cheating, lying, and all. And even if the child does something naughtiness, mischievousness, he knows that he's playing around and he's having fun. So in the children, that innocence is there, the sweetness is there, that honesty is there. The child doesn't know how to lie, what to lie, how to fabricate, how to manipulate. ना बच्चे मन के सच्चे. आगे बोलो हर्षा, राजश्री. बच्चे मन के सच्चे.
सारे जग के आँख के तारे.
शायद
I don't
इवन
know.
बच्चे मन के सच्चे, मेरी आंखों के तारों, समथिंग है ना, सारे जग के आंखों के तारे. हाँ, और क्या, बच्चे भगवान का, कंप्लीट दिस, बच्चे भगवान का,
भगवान का रूप होते हैं.
है ना, बच्चे भगवान का रूप होते हैं. सो इन हिंदी देयर इज दिस सेइंग दैट चिल्ड्रन आर the image of God or reflection of God. Say, in the sense, children carry that purity, that innocence. Na? They do not know duplicity. So they are pure. They do not know duplicity. But a child, as he grows further and further, then his circle of engagement changes. है ना? A child as he grows further, uh, growing up child watches what, cartoon, baby cartoon and all, so which is still decently moral. But then further growing up, he might be watching some cartoons. I don't know, Simpson is one very popular cartoon, right? How moral, what, I don't know, but Simpsons, he could be watching Simpsons. And what is a Family Guy, another cartoon, something. Further growing up, then Love Island. Love Island, which one? No, I think there's a British serial, right? Um, what is it called? Real life serial sort of thing. Love Island and what? Anyways, we understand, right? Growing up, a child through television, just through television, and nowadays we are blessed to have smartphone. Children in the age of 11, 12, 13 in Europe having smartphones. Wow. See, or even could be younger, 6, 5, 6 years, children having smartphone. Yeah. Like 10th birthday, smartphone I want. And then smartphone, Facebook, all these things. So growing up, a child watches so much of crime, so much of violence, so much of hatred, in subtle sense or directly, indirectly, watching from where? Media, na? Movies, TikTok, mobile phone, from these, so much of, uh, say, vulgarity, abusive language, and so much of sexual content. Now, these growing up child, बच्चे मन के सच्चे, मेरी आंखों के तारे. But till when? Until they are 5, 6, 7. But once they are like 10, 11, 12, or teenage years. uh, So modern science, when in teenage years, modern science gives a name, puberty and things like that and all. But Vedic thing, like the modes of material nature, then becoming more heavy, and then contacting, being in, coming in more contact and associating with the modes of nature, and then getting influenced. So when it comes to teenage years, wow, complete different person he becomes. Um, Children growing up, what do they say? Oh, my dad is Superman. My dad is Spider-Man, Batman. He knows everything. My dad can fix everything. Huh? My dad knows so much. My father is like role model. Generally speaking, I think many child see. And as the child starts going in high school and all, or senior school, teenage years, oh, father, I don't want you to come to school to pick me. Please, I don't want to walk with you. I don't want to go to shopping with you. No. Oh, oh, dad, you know nothing. Don't you know this? Don't you know? And then further growing up, dad, you know nothing, sort of thing. So we are heavily influenced by the modes of material nature, heavily, tremendously. I mean, what is my personality? Where is my personality? घुंघरू की तरह बजता ही रहा हूँ मैं, कभी इस पाव में, कभी उस पाव में, बजता ही रहा हूँ मैं, है ना? Exactly like this. घुंघरू की तरह बजता ही रहा हूँ मैं. I cannot do the English translation of it. I'm sorry, huh? But repeatedly I am being hit by the modes of material nature. Sometimes lust, getting heavy. And I think that I am actually lusty. It is the modes of material nature which is making me lusty. Greed, very heavy. I think that okay, no, actually, this is my personality. Nothing, Baba. We are being completely under the control of the modes. Anger. uh, some men, they like being angry and shows like yes. The more anger I can exert, the more strong. But no, you are under the sway of anger. You are not controlling your anger, you are being controlled by your anger. Lust, greed, anger, pride, envy, jealousy. So growing up, very sweet boy, very sweet girl, such sweet boy, sweet girl. And growing up, okay, a question for all of you. Growing up, we ask children, right? More in India. I'm not sure if children are asked more in Europe, but let me know. More in India, that oh, son or daughter, boy or girl, growing up, what will you like to be? In general, children are asked this question, right? They are heavily asked in India that growing up, boy or girl, what would you like to be? What are the general responses? Okay, someone is saying here, entrepreneur. If a young boy or girl, 5-year-old say, it's generally asked, right? Growing up, what would you like to be? What are the responses? Harsha, Lucy, Rajashri, any thoughts?
A firefighter or an astronaut.
Thank you, Ellie. A firefighter or astronaut. What else?
Friend is doctor, engineer.
Indian boy or girl, doctor or engineer. Harsha, you were saying something? So growing up, firefighter, astronaut, policeman, or teacher. I would want to be in NHS, doctor, or policeman, or teacher, and such, and soldier. I would want to be in army, soldier, save the country, save the nation. है ना? Beat the bad people. I will be in police and I will catch the bad people, beat them and put them behind the bars. All these things. But kab? When? Until when? Until kids, until 5 years, 6-year-old. Now the same 5 or 6-year-old boy or girl, When he or she turns to 25, 26, those dreams disappear by and large. Very rarely we see someone 5-year-old wanting to become a doctor, firefighter, astronaut, and 25 was also, yes, I've become a doctor, fire, astronaut, or firefighter. Uh, So growing up, we never hear a 5 or 6-year-old boy or girl, you know, I want to smuggle drugs from Afghanistan to Mexico. Uh, we hear that? No, children don't know that. Growing up, I want to actually plan a bank robbery. I've got an idea. I can work it out. Growing up, I want to be a hacker. Growing up, what is that? Hacker, internet, online crime hacker, yeah. Do crime for. What is that word? Growing up, I want to be a stalker. Does any child say something? Yeah, yeah, heavy. No. But see, so irony. We are losing so much young children for on all of this. We are using the youth, the power, the culture, everything on this. So many problems in this world because of drugs. What benefit does is one getting out of drugs? Such cheap, small-lived sense gratification. And the repercussions, the effect is so lethal, so poisonous, so poisonous. Huh? Oh, giving suicidal thoughts to someone completely spoils one's lives altogether. Drugs, drinks, alcohol, what? Uh, then, in order to deal with this, we come up with ideas and policies. Okay, prescription drugs, age, consent, them things and all. Uh, So, again, point being, growing up a child is very innocent. It's very innocent. Could be living in a war torn, could be born to a drug mafia, but the child is innocent growing up. But as grows up, associates heavily with the modes, and I am what the modes make me. Hmm. I am what the modes make me. No, not what I want to become. I am influenced. I am totally influenced by the place I live in, by the time I'm living in, by the company definitely I'm keeping in, by the samskars, my impressions I'm carrying in my mind from previous lives, accumulated impressions from countless number of previous lives. The nature I have created out of those samskaras. That is what I am, not a soul proper. No. Soul proper is doesn't matter you put him or her in Glasgow, London, York, Vancouver, or California or Dundee. A soul proper is always in love with Krishna. Ah, and is always in that pure mood. Soul proper is never living in a complaint zone. A soul proper is always hankering for darshan of Krishna and furthermore things like that. So this is something on the three modes of material nature. The modes of payment, the modes of travel, the modes of transport, the modes of communication, and the modes of material nature we live in. So much we know in society, modes of communication, modes of transport. Ask a teenager. A teenager can give so much advice, right? Oh, you go in that website, this is online shopping, you can buy it from here, you can buy from there. The teenager can give advice on mode of communication, mode of payment, mode of transport, mode of seeking a job interview and things further like this. But how much do we know about the modes of material nature? And should this not be understood in society? Why should this not be taught in society? Why should not Bhagavad Gita be made the in mainstream society be taught? Why should Bhagavad Gita not be allowed to be taught in school, college, uni? Where is it a sectarian based? Do we see anywhere any tinge of reference of sectarian based? Where is it like it is not at all an Indian textbook? No, completely non-sectarian universal and can um, give one endless happiness. Simple living and Krishna thinking. There's one thing, simple living and high thinking. Another is what? Simple living and Krishna thinking. And I tell you another is what? Sinful living and filthy thinking. No? Sinful living and filthy thinking. Corrupt, degraded, pervert, filthy thinking. Sinful living and filthy thinking. One is simple living and high thinking. Best is simple living and Krishna thinking. Simple living and Krishna thinking. By studying Srimad Bhagavad Gita, someone is asking how is that possible? By studying Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself is speaking, saying, so, mhm. Simple living, Krishna thinking. So let's see the next text. Let's go a bit more into the modes and see. Beautiful. See, this is a short chapter, and the purports are also small, if I remember correct. We'll see anyways more now. The purports aren't that lengthy. Mm, Like if I quickly skim through this purport, fifth one, the living entity, because he is transcendental, he has nothing to do with this material nature. Still, because he has become conditioned by the material world, he is acting under the spell of the three modes of material nature. Because living entities have different kinds of bodies in terms of the different aspects of nature, they are induced to act according to that nature. This is the cause of the varieties of happiness and distress. How much am I in control? Hardly any, hardly any. And someone who has not yet found his resolve or shelter in Krishna consciousness, in no control of life, completely dancing to the tune of the modes of nature, material nature, unaware. One is dancing to the tunes, like I am dancing to the tune of modes of material nature, but at least I know now. Practicing Krishna consciousness, I know that I'm so heavily caught up in these modes. But irony, some of my friend dancing in the modes of material nature, but he or she doesn't even know that they are dancing to the tune of modes of material nature. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakamanamyam sukha sangena badnati jnana sangena chanaga. Alexandra, read translation purport. If
O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than others is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. Living entities conditioned by material nature of various types. One is happy, another is very active, and another is helpless. All these types of psychological manifestations are causes of the entity's conditioned status in nature. How they are differently conditioned is explained in this section of the Bhagavad Gita. The mode of goodness is first considered. The effect of developing the mode of goodness in the material world is that one becomes wiser than those otherwise conditioned. A man in the mode of goodness is not so much affected by material miseries, and he has a sense of advancement in material knowledge. The representative type is the Brahmana, who is supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness. This sense of happiness is due to understanding that in the mode of goodness, one is more or less free from sinful reactions. Actually, in the Vedic literature, it is said that the mode of goodness means greater knowledge and greater sense of happiness. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge.
So, mode of goodness, na? Okay, again, three modes of material nature. So, little bit we try to understand modes. We'll try to understand a bit more the material nature. And now, just on this three modes of material nature, you know, from there are three primary colors. Are there? Maybe Lucy might know, Alexandra might know, or someone if knows then say. Is it red?
Red, yellow,
Hmm?
blue.
Red, yellow, blue. Harsha, Rajeshi?
Red, yellow, and green.
Red, yellow, and green. Harsha, what were you saying? You also say something different now, Harsha. Red, yellow, and pink. So, red, yellow, and blue, or red, yellow, and green. But there are three main colors, right? Three primary colors. Then you add some color to it, and we get another color. Add another
Yeah,
color
it's
to it.
red, yellow, blue. You're right.
Red, yellow, blue. So red, yellow, blue. You add further color to it, then could be say purple, could be then pink, and could be then orange. Then you add further, then another color, then another color, another color, na? Dark blue, light blue, this blue, sky blue, Krishna blue. So, but primary three colors, and then from those three come what? 9. From those 9, 27. From those 27, na permutation combinations, na? From 3, 9, 9, 27, 27, 81, 81, 243, 243, 729. Like this expansion, various colors, na? Likewise, there are, we must have heard and read also, 84 lakh species, 8.4 million species of life. Harsha Raj se suna hoga na? 84 lakh yoniya. 8.4 million species of life. What does it mean? 8.4 million species of life. It means the various bodies, material bodies, na? And these material bodies are awarded based on the modes which is heavy, predominant. So again, three primary colors, red, yellow, blue. From them originate another, say from 3 originate 9 colors, from 9, 27, from 27 again 81 colors, 243, so on and so forth. So likewise, there are various bodies, material bodies. And what is the cause of these material bodies? The modes of material nature. The mode I associate with, that is body is available for me. So when I associate with the transcendental mode, transcendental body is available for me. The more I associate with the transcendental spiritual mode, spiritual body is available for me. Spiritual body is everlasting joy, bliss, knowledge, peace. Hmm? And otherwise, there are these 8.4 million species. How 8.4? Based on the different interactions of the modes of material nature and desires. Actions, one's karmic actions, one's desires, and material nature is that facilitating that environment, like how bread is made. Na? How bread is made, it needs some environment. Na? How cake is baked. So put it in an oven, 60 degree or gas 6 or 180 degree for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, then open the oven, check again, turn it around, all those things. So give it the right environment. and that will come about. So ours bodies, how come? Based on my desires, based on my karmic reaction, and the mood which I am in living in. To give some example, someone in a very passionate mood. What body? Body of lion, body of tiger. Heavily passionate, na? Heavily passion, heavily strong, uh, heavily powerful. Body of lion, body of tiger. Someone in a uh, mode of goodness. What? Body of cow. In animal bodies we are talking. Body of cow. Yeah. Gentle, peaceful, quiet, still, and gives also milk and nature. Cow dung is very purifying. Cow dung is very antiseptic. Lots of medicinal benefits of cow dung, cow urine, cow's body skin, cow's tail. Hmm? So body in the mode of goodness, animal body in the mode of goodness, cow. Animal body in the mode of ignorance, snake. Monkey. Monkey in mixed modes, passion and ignorance. Some animal body in mixed modes, goodness and passion. Some animal body in pure ignorance, snake for that matter. Yeah. So there are mixed modes as well, isn't it? Three color primary colors. From them come different colors, right? Mix them. So likewise mixed modes. Now we are so helpless. None of us actually is completely in mode of ignorance. It's very difficult to be in pure ignorance. Very difficult to be in complete ignorance. It's a tough thing to be in complete ignorance. It is very tough to be completely passionate. And it is very tough to be completely goodness. And transcendental is the ultimate mode which we want to attain. The real divine transcendental mode. So three modes of material nature, na? Three colors from which them different colors all mixed and come up. Likewise, the three modes of material nature, from these three modes, by the interaction of three modes, how do I associate with these three modes alongside my karmas and my desires? Next body is available. This is the science. This is the workings. Uh, Next body is then available. Slowly, sturdily shaping up the body. It may not be like I may be, say, very much liking to eat meat and blood in some meat products and all, lots of blood is there, right? So take that. So it may not be that next life I'm becoming a tiger or lion, but I'm moving forward in that direction. I could be doing charity also. I could be doing some other things also, but heavy meat eater. Now, where is my real attachment? That mode is influencing my life. If I'm heavily attached to eating meat and doing some philanthropic work, also say charity, also little bit. huh? But where is my real attachment? At the time of death, it is our attachment which will come in our vision. At the time of death, whatever I am attached to, sorrows, regrets, frustrations, complaints, persons, desires, hankerings, है ना? If I think that, oh, I'm good for nothing, or I didn't do this good, and all, or if I'm attached like to some worldly good, as in charity, opening schools and all, whatever I'm attached to, that is what next life will be available for me. So if someone has no attachment at the time of death, but one has not even developed attachment for Krishna as well, है ना? It is a many in this world, many spiritual practitioners want to become completely attachment free. No attachment, no attachment. No, I don't want to be attached to house. What do they say? Home, hearth, and what is that English thing, Lucy, if you know? Hearth, home, or anyways. The many spiritual practitioners who say, oh, I don't want to be attached to home, house, wife, family, job, car, money, and all. Okay, but neither I want to be attached to God or Krishna. Huh? So I want to be attached to qualities, virtues, kindness, compassion, but I'm not interested. Where does this kindness come from? No, no, this is, don't tell me where does this come from. Who is holding the source of kindness? Where is kindness? From whom is kindness originating? Not interested in that, but I'm interested in kindness, compassion. For someone who is very, again, it is very tough to be materially not attached. Hmm. One thing in theory is easy to say. Right now, with hand in heart, say if we get a heart attack, a big cardiac arrest, and we happen to leave our body just now, can any of one of us say that, well, I'm not attached? Even even if I say someone puts a revolver in my head, and can I say, well, no, I'm not attached? Again, I'm not asking anyone to give a response, but to check, I wouldn't say that I'm not attached. No, I have got attachments. I've got concerns from my mother, father. Uh, Even at the time of death, the attachment, whatever I'm longing for, desiring for, hankering for, wanting for, that is what will come to the forefront. That's one has to see, na. So question is, if one has nothing of that hankering, desire, longing, attachments at the time of death, then clean slate. Huh? But in my life, am I living like that, a clean slate, or what? And this is not ideal Krishna consciousness. Krishna conscious teaching is not like to give up all attachments, to not, or don't be attached to. It's not like don't be attached to Krishna as well then. Don't be attached to the Mahamantra as well. Don't be attached to Bhagavad Gita. Don't be attached to devotees. No, I want to be attached to devotees. I want to be attached to the chanting. I want to be attached to Prabhupada. I want to be attached to the deities. Rajshri, you were saying something?
Yes, Prabhuji, I remember discussing this sometime. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. So I remember back, it is told in the 8th chapter that what time of death, we get something similar to that in the next life. Or one child asked me that if I think of something non-living at the time of death, so what happens in the next birth?
Very good question. Even I used to think this. Ki, कि at the time of Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavan, 8.5, 8.6, Krishna tells this. Tajanti Anta Kalevaram. Kalevaram means body, Anta means towards the end. Tam tam evati konteya sada tad bhava bhavitam. So whoever, whatever nature I am developing and I am thinking, that is the body I am preparing and that is what I will be having. Hmm? So if someone is very fascinated by car, BMW, है ना? Material object, right, Rajshri? Someone is very fascinated by BMW
Yes.
car.
Yeah.
Hmm? Uh, Not by person, but by car. So surely there would be desire, na? है कि नहीं, Rajshri, बताओ? If someone is attached to car or attached to a kite also, say. So attachment doesn't happen overnight. Attachment doesn't happen overnight. Attachment is like intense attraction, intense interest, है ना? Intense greed, intense solid. See, one is water. Water by nature is what? Liquid. है ना? And water spreads, right? Water can spread. Water is by nature is liquid. Now that water, if it is condensed thoroughly, what will it become, Rajshri?
Ice.
Ice, na? If that water is thoroughly condensed, if that water is thoroughly frozen, It will become ice. So attachment is that thing which the interest says, I may have spread out interest, but if one interest becomes very focused, very concentrated, very condensed, that is attachment. That is attachment. So question being, if someone is attached to car, for instance, BMW, now this attachment just doesn't come like that. Na? One would be contemplating in living life, thinking of car, something to do with car, watching that car, even owning that car, playing with that car, having that car. है ना? So next life, based on his or her karmic, again, this is the principle. Hmm. This is the principle. Lord Brahma, Lord Yamraj, the higher authorities, they decide on this principle, like based on his attachment, based on his karmic actions, based on his desires and the mode of material nature. If he's thinking of BMW, okay, next life, let him be born. So take this as example. In this life, if next life it doesn't turn out that he won't be a rich man, okay, and he will take a man body, okay, won't be a rich man, okay, huh? But will be educated. Yes, and will be an engineer. And main thing is he likes BMW, and he will be living in a, say, uh, not a very rich country. Okay, things like this. So where possibly let him take birth in India, uh, or let him take birth somewhere Asia or somewhere in Europe, say, and male body, mechanical engineer, but he's very attached to BMW. So what? He was going to be poor, not rich. So mechanical engineer make him a mechanic in a BMW car factory in a not so rich country in Europe or Asia or America somewhere. But life should be centered around BMW. He won't be owning the car, but he will be playing with the car, fixing the car. Because heavily with BMW, na desire, heavily that attachment. Now, his karmic reactions, his desires, other do not permit him to be owning the car. Hmm. But heavy attachment, okay, so live close to BMW, Baba. Next to your house, where the BMW say repair shop is, you will be living very close to that place. Does that answer, Rajeshri?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
This is the principle. It is not like, okay, today you have eating so much meat, next life you will be animal, or you are doing this much so much, next life you will be like elephant. जैसे लाइक इन इंडिया से ना बोल रहे भाई तू पिछले जन्म में गधा ही रहा होगा बोलते ना इंडिया में तू पिछले जन्म में गाय ही रहा होगा तो पिछले जन्म में घोड़ा रहा होगा इंडिया से ना समवन ईट्स व्हाट चना राइट क्या बोलते हैं उस चने को चने को इंग्लिश में क्या बोलते हैं so someone eats ना this a form of chickpea what और पिछले जन्म में घोड़ा था क्या ये चना खाता है इतना ऐसा है ना so Rajshri is saying something.
Oh, no, Prabhuji.
Okay, so this is kind of an indication, a line of thought, line of sight, a principle that look, this path we are treading, we are opening the doors for getting a lion body, a tiger body, an elephant body, a tree body. Many people, they like trees. Many people, if you ask them, I just want to become a tree. I so much want to become a tree. Okay, then, yeah. Now for that having that tree body, the desire has to be very strong. Means attachment has to be very strong. And then other factors will be taken into account. Another example, see, there are some shows, not talent shows and all, or some exams or job interviews where selection is done not on one criteria, multiple criteria. Like there's some singing shows, right? Indian Idol, American Idol, um, America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent, or The Voice, huh? Wherein, Okay, how is his voice singing? Then how is his looks? How is his appearance? And some other things. So based on a combination of few things, okay, yes, we select him or her. How's the actor or actress selected? Height, looks, role, character, fit in, on those lines. So on those lines, the next body is decided. But the heavy thing is the attachments, the desires, which come about from the modes I am uh, playing with, the modes I am attracting, the modes I am attracted to, the modes I am attracting, the modes I am living in. There are 5 things which influence our well-being. You may note it down. There are 5 things which influence my well-being altogether, which influence my personality, which influence my thinking, which influence my identity, my character altogether. What are those? Samskaras. Samskaras are what? Impressions from previous lives, accumulated impressions from uncountable previous lives. So many impressions we have in our subconscious mind, in our conscious mind from previous lives, samskaras. They influence my well-being, my thought process, my identity, my personality. Then what? Swabhava, nature. How do I make my nature? Based on the samskars. Samskars play a huge role in forming my nature. Then the place. See, in Europe, in America, in Canada, not so much in India though, but in them places, Australia, New Zealand and all, people do not believe in samskaras. No. Society doesn't talk samskaras or does not believe. Society somewhat believes in nature, in habit nature, but that understanding is a bit different. So society believes in what? Place. That yes, oh, why is he? Oh, that place, growing up, surroundings, na? Surroundings means place, and then time. Growing up, someone grew in poverty time, someone grew in hard times. So that time, samskar influence my well-being. Swabhav, nature influences the well-being. Place, stan influences the well-being. Samay, time influences my well-being, my identity, my character, my personality. Any thought, what is the fifth element, the fifth factor which influences my personality, identity, character? And this fifth is the strongest of all.
Association.
Spot on, yes. Association, the company of people I keep. The company I keep. There are many scholars, right? Many influential people, writers, authors, motivational people, quotes on association. What? You tell me your friend's name and I will tell you who you are. Something like that. You tell me the company you keep and I will tell you who you are. You are the median of 5 of the persons you associate with. They say we are what we associate with. So the company is the most influential. Samskaras influence, nature influence, place. You live in a roadside, in a countryside place, influenced by another level of influence. Live in a heavy city like London, central London, different influence. Live in a town, small town, different influence. Place has an influence, no? Live in city center, different influence. Live in a mm, outside city center, different influence. Time has an influence. Growing up as a child, it influences my well-being. In teenage years, influences my well-being. In matured age, there's a different well-being criterion thing. Further on, time of the day, yeah, mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. Morning hours is the mode of goodness. From say uh, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 4 a.m. onwards till noon time, say, or 8 or 9. is the mode of goodness. Huh? Then from 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. till about 5 p.m. mode of passion. And then from 6 7 p.m. till midnight mode of ignorance. Hmm? So everything in life is all about modes, different modes, heavy modes, very heavy modes. Shish, Jam. So heavily influenced by the modes of material nature we live in, mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Okay, any thoughts, questions, or comments? Let's read one more and we'll try to discuss a bit more. Apologies, I'm not speaking directly on the shloka and I'm trying to speak or concentrate, or it's coming more in my head with the chapter itself. But hopefully, we'll summarize and everything should tie up. So we haven't much discussed on this shloka itself, mode of goodness, but we'll try to discuss. Let's read a couple more and then see. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam nibadnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. Harsha ji padhiye. Translation purport.
The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti. And because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions. The mode of passion is characterized by the attraction between man and women. Women has attraction for man, and man has attraction for women. This is called the mode of passion. And when the mode of passion is increased, one develops the hankering for material enjoyment. He wants to enjoy sense gratification. For sense gratification, a man in the mode of passion wants some honor in society or in the nation, and he wants to have a happy family with nice children, wife, and house. These are the products of the mode of passion. As long as one is hankering after these things, he has to work very hard. Therefore, it is clearly stated here that he becomes associated with the fruits of his activities and thus becomes bound by such activities. In order to please his wife, children, and society, and to keep up his prestige, one has to work. Therefore, the whole material world is more or less in the mode of passion. Modern civilization is considered to be advanced in the standard of the mode of passion. Formerly, the advanced condition was considered to be in the mode of goodness. If there is no liberation for those in the mode of goodness, what to speak of those who are entangled in the mode of passion? If there is no liberation for those in the mode of goodness, what to speak of those who are entangled in the mode of passion? The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, O son of Kunti. And because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material fruitive actions.
Amazing translation and purport, na Prabhupada's. So practical and so real say. Read one more, Harsha. Read next also. Tamastva-jnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabhistannibadnati bharata.
O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. In this verse,
Once Lucy connects, maybe we can ask her to read the purport. Huh? Until then,
yeah, I think she's
okay.
here. Yes.
Lucy, would you be okay to read translation purport?
O son of Bharata, know that the modes of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which blind the conditioned soul. In this verse, the specific application of the word to is very significant. This means that the mode of ignorance is a very peculiar qualification of the embodied soul. The mode of ignorance is just the opposite of the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, by development of knowledge, one can understand what is what, but the mode of ignorance is just the opposite.
Read again. Last two sentences.
The mode of ignorance is just the opposite of the mode of goodness. In the mode of goodness, by development of knowledge, one can understand what is what, but the mode of ignorance is just the opposite. Everyone under the spell of the mode of ignorance becomes mad, and the madman cannot understand what is what. Instead of making
Please read again.
everyone under the spell of the mode of ignorance becomes mad, and a madman cannot understand what is what. Instead of making advancement, one becomes degraded. The definition of the mode of ignorance is stated in the Vedic literature. Vastu
Vastu yathatmya jnana varakam viparaya jnana janakam tama.
Under the spell of ignorance, one cannot understand the thing as it is. For example, everyone can see that his grandfather has died and therefore he will also die. Man is mortal. The children that he conceives will also die, so death is sure. Still, people are madly accumulating money and working very hard all day and night, not caring for the eternal spirit. This is madness. In their madness, they are very reluctant to make advancement in spiritual understanding. Such people are very lazy. When they are invited to associate with spiritual understanding, they are not much interested. They are not even active, like the man who is controlled by the mode of passion. Thus, another symptom of one embedded in the mode of ignorance is that he sleeps more than is required. 6 hours of sleep is sufficient, but a man in the mode of ignorance sleeps at least 10 or 12 hours a day. Such a man appears to be always dejected and is addicted to intoxicants and sleeping. These are the symptoms of a person conditioned by the mode of ignorance. O son of Bharata, know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul.
How are you finding the translations and purport? Very interesting translations, very interesting purport, and quite a bit relatable. I personally find the three modes of material nature. What do we mean by mode? Again, mode of payment, mode of communication, mode of speaking, mode of meeting, mode of contact and all, mode of travel. Uh, so modes of material nature, three. From three colors come other colors. And we We had been asking this burning question over last few weeks, that what is that quality which is highly revered, sought after, desired in material life, but it is a no in spiritual life. It does not exist in pure Krishna consciousness. So that quality, one of the participants, Lucy, she gave the right answer. So for others, I will still, I won't be kind enough to give the answer now. We'll still keep this question open and kindly think what could be that quality which is highly revered in material life, sought after, desired, respected in material life, but it has no place in pure Krishna consciousness. It is invalid, doesn't exist, and it is like very abominable in pure Krishna consciousness. So think of it and let us know. Now the modes of material nature. We read 14.678. 6 speaks on the mode of goodness, 7 passion, and 8 ignorance. Mode of goodness means what? Peace, quiet, calm, sanity, happiness. huh? Mode of passion is what? Agitation. Passion, agitated, active. Mode of passion means multiply, create more and more, multiply. That's mode of passion. Ignorance means ignorance means like misery. Mm. So mode of happiness is goodness is brings happiness. Mode of passion keeps one's always busy, and mode of ignorance is completely dead. Mm. Mode of goodness is what? Think before you act. Think before you speak. That is mode of goodness. Think before you act. Think before I speak. Mode of passion is what? Act first, think later. Speak first, think later. Sometimes happen na, certainly agitated. huh? First I have to give some response to this person. First I have to use some swear words. First I have to be abusive. First I have to show my anger. Then I will see later on whatever happens. बाद में देखा जाएगा. पहले तो इसको मैं 2 गाली दूंगा. पहले तो इसको 2 बात सुनाऊंगा. फिर देखा जाएगा जो होगा. First I am going to burst out, blast out, vent out, and later on I will see. If I have to bear some pain, let it be. So that's mode of passion. Do first, think later. Act first, speak first, think later. And mode of ignorance is what? So I let you now speak. Mode of goodness is think first, act later. Huh? That is mode of goodness. Think first, speak later. And mode of passion is what? Act first, think later. Speak first, think later. And what is mode of ignorance? Mode of ignorance. Yes, Rajeshri.
Think later, act later.
Mode of ignorance is yes. Think later, act later. Procrastination. No thinking, no acting. Mode of ignorance what? जो हो रहा है बढ़िया हो रहा है. जो होगा अच्छा ही होगा. कुछ नहीं करना है. सब मोह माया है. Mode of ignorance is whatever is happening is good. Whatever is happening is by the arrangement of God. What will happen is good. Don't worry, no, not to do anything. Procrastination, laziness, idle. Mode of passion means busy. Mode of goodness means stable. Mode of passion, busy. And mode of ignorance, crazy. Mode of ignorance, complete fool. Least bothered. No. Mode of ignorance, person sees no problem. Mode of ignorance, person sees there is no problem. And mode of goodness is very much solution driven. He sees things as they are in reality, and sees solution driven. That is mode of goodness. So Mode of goodness again, happy. Mode of passion, very active, very busy. And mode of ignorance, no time to be active or to be busy or doing anything. Now, everywhere we see these modes. To give some more examples, in our house, the place, the mode of ignorance place is what? In its words, the mode of ignorance place in the house is what? Uh, so, say toilet or bathroom in the house, place of mode of ignorance. No? What business is there? How long? So it's that's mode of ignorance place. Then mode of passion place in the house. What? Say living room could be mode of passion. No? Could be. And mode of goodness could be what in the house. Kitchen could be mode of goodness actually. Again, depending what we cook, what we make, kitchen could be mode of goodness. But if too much of heavy items are being cooked in the kitchen, mode of passion, which will spread out in living room, so much so in toilet. And mode of goodness in the house, kitchen or prayer room, altar, meditation room. That is mode of goodness in the house. And if we have a prayer room in the house, altar meditation room in the house, then that energy, that vibe, that spirit, that mood will go in the kitchen also, will go in living room, will go in bedrooms. Huh? Bedroom could be mode of passion. So likewise, within my body, within the body, say head supposed to be the mode of goodness. Hmm? Arms or mm, mm, uh, say belly is mixed modes, passion and ignorance. Stomach is mixed modes, passion and ignorance. Chest and arms, mode of passion. बोलते हैं बाजुओं में दम, हाँ? और all these things ना, Bollywood, Hollywood, they come up with some slogans. So mode of passion in the body is where chest, arms. Mode of goodness where mind, brain, head. Mode of goodness. Stomach is what? Mixed modes, passion and ignorance. And below waist is all mode of ignorance in the body. So likewise, within the body, there's three modes. Within the house, the three modes can be seen. Garden is what? Mode of goodness. Park, garden, scenery, nature, mode of goodness. Library, mode of goodness. Pub, club is what? Mode of passion, ignorance. Church, temple, library, mode of goodness. Uh, Church, temple could be pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. Could be transcendental mode. Like that. Now, big shopping malls say so much mode of passion. Again, I think we discussed, right? Morning time, uh, 4 a.m. to 9:10 a.m. mode of goodness. Then after 9 a.m. mode of passion. After 9 a.m. where is money, money, na? Shops open, offices open, government politics open, everything. So money, that is the time, hard work, okay. Then money making time means passionate time. And after 5, 6 p.m. is what? Now drinks time, pubs time. Hmm. Mode of ignorance. Again, mixed modes, passion, ignorance. Nighttime is mode of ignorance. Nighttime people go to sleep, right? We go to bed, nighttime, mode of ignorance. And now the world being turned into a global village, we are trying to make 24 hour as the passionate. No? See, 24 hour now there are shops open, 24-hour businesses open. Someone could be living in UK, say, but has business being done from India. This call centers and all open throughout the hours. So very passionate. Passion means what? Create, mint money, make money. That is passionate. Huh? Save money is good, goodness. But neither making money nor saving money, ignorance. Nothing. So ignorance is like it's very heavy to be in mode of ignorance, and it's very heavy also, like any mode as such. To be in a fixed mode, to be in fixed goodness is very heavy. To be in fixed passion is very heavy. To be in fixed ignorance is very heavy. Okay, any thoughts, questions, or comments? Okay, so I will say one thing on these modes of material nature, uh, and then maybe we'll leave it here. If any thoughts, questions, or comments, we can still check. See, Lord Brahmana, the expert engineer, the prime engineer, director, universal engineer, the first engineer of this universe. What did he do? Generally, in this world, how does it work? This is how, let me know. Boy likes girl, girl likes shopping, and there is the modes of material nature now created and working. Boy is attracted to girl, and girl is attracted to dress. And there you go. That is material world. And then is the expansion of it. Rest is the expansion. Boy like girls, girl like attention. Yeah. Boy is attracted to a girl and girl is attracted to having attention, say. And that is material world. And then the modes are playing. Yeah. Or actually it is the modes which make us drive us all the way. Na? So yes, we are heavily influenced by samskar, swabhav, place, time, the company we keep, the association, and that is the most critical. The company, the association we keep is the most critical. If at all I can improve or protect my association, the company I keep, then doesn't matter whatever my samskaras are. No, I can come over them. Whatever my nature is, I can come over them. Whatever the wherever the place I am living could still be okay. There's temple in central London. And if I'm in the right company, in the right association, then whatever time of the day, time of my bodily age, yeah, children age, mode of goodness, youth age, maturity, youth age, say middle age and all, mode of passion. Generally again, and then old age is towards ignorance. So if I keep the right company association, then I can overcome the effects of the ill effects of time, the ill effects of place, the ill effects of nature, the ill effects of my habits, nature, conditioning, the ill effects of samskaras, and this will influence my service attitude. Doesn't matter, one could be practicing spirituality or not, one could be atheist, but everyone is serving. So our service attitude gets affected, influenced by these things, by time, place, circumstance, situation, people, samskaras, and nature. Now, in generally, in more so, I believe in Western world, people agree and understand, yes, that my service attitude, my working attitude, and all is influenced by time, place, circumstance, situation, and people, but they do not much take into consideration samskaras because it involves reincarnation, it involves previous lives and impressions, and that is a bit, it is not gross, na? So, generally, one view is something has to be proven, something has to be gross. If I cannot see it, I cannot believe it. And samskaras are what? Hidden impressions in the subconscious mind coming from previous lives, not so seen, directly seen. So it is a bit shunned. But in India still, people believe in samskaras. Hmm. There's lots more furthermore in the modes of material nature. We'll try to discuss more tomorrow and understand more tomorrow next time when we meet yet, hopefully tomorrow. But for now, we couldn't discuss into the particular slokas, but overall, the three modes of material nature and overall, what is this material world? Boy likes girl, girl likes shopping, that is material world. Hare Krishna. Any thoughts, questions, or comments? Okay, thank you very much for your patient listening and participation. We give it a rest here. Hare Krishna.